That introduction made me feel like I'm the main character of my own film, believing that we were rock stars, living that rock star life.
I know.
And I still look back at, we're still friends, and I look back at those times as very pivotal, very instrumental in shaping the kind of person I was, and all the other Dilips and versions that have come and gone. Don't die stupid. And I was looking at myself and saying, this is die stupid. Like at some point in time, it is going to catch up.
It's not that easy to kind of realize that, is it?
Yeah. And it's tough. And then suddenly you reach a point where that difficulty becomes cool.
One thing that you'll tell your younger self.
Forgive yourself.
Hey everyone, welcome back. So before sharing the name of my very special guest today, let us all just imagine something. Let's imagine a man in his 40s, weighing more than 100 kgs, having mental, physical, and relationship issues, and something that quiets him is only the alcohol. He used to be a great drummer, a rock drummer on top of that. He used to play in front of thousands of people, and he really knew who he was until he realized that he doesn't know who he is. And then something came up and he decided to stop. He quit alcohol and turned towards making his life a better place. Over the next 2 years, he loses close to 30 kilos. He rebuilt his relationships, makes peace with his life, becomes a better father, and starts figuring out who he really is. And the first thing he said to me when we sat down to discuss about this podcast was, let's write another song. Forgive yourself. So that is the title of today's episode as well. Let's write another song. So I'm your host Archana, and let's welcome today the guest of the show, Mr. Dilip Ramachandran. So Dilip, welcome. So good to have you here on the show.
No, thank you so much. That introduction made me feel like I'm the main character of my own film. So thank you so much.
Oh, that's beautiful.
I was like, is she talking about me or someone else?
No, we still not talked about you. Actually, your journey, I've missed out on many things. I just spoke a little part of it. You've worked for many years. For people who don't know, you've worked in many years in advertisement, and then you were a creative director. And then, of course, you were the lead drummer of 𝗏𝗏𝗏 band. And what all I think life has shown you in many ways. Let's just talk from where all this started. First, let's talk probably to the love of music, where the strings to the music started happening in your life.
No, music has played an incredibly pivotal role in my life, right?
Yeah.
So I'm Tamil, born and brought up in Delhi. So fortunately or unfortunately, I'm a Delhi wala. And in most South Indian homes, you are meant to learn some sort of art, and typically girls will either learn Bharatnatyam or some whatever the dance form is of that region. Boys will usually pick up an instrument, whether it will be a violin or singing.
Is that true? I didn't know.
Yeah, so usually there is some sort of an intervention that takes place. At least it used to. I'm not sure how much of it happens anymore. In that vein, my parents put me to learn the mridangam when I was 4 years old. I was as tall as the instrument, and it felt like torture. It felt like punishment because you're 4 years old. The last thing you want to do is sit in front of a guru, miss out on playtime while all of your friends in Karol Bagh, because in Karol Bagh, where I've grown up, every block had a park in the middle. So the homes are in the perimeter, all homes are connected, and you could go to anybody's home. It was one big family, and then the family had one a park in the courtyard. And I used to hate it. I used to hate having to go to the guru, who was also a resident in the same 𝗏𝗏 block where I was living. And unfortunately, I learned it for about 4 or 5, 6 years. And then I asked my parents, I didn't want to do it anymore. And they very reluctantly allowed me to not to learn the instrument, and left it around when I was 11 or 12. So about 8 years I played. But what it did was it instilled in me a love for rhythm, percussion, musicality, and as I think from a awkward pre-teen to an even more awkward teen, I got into rock music and music in general, and very automatically gravitated towards playing the drums. So if it wasn't for my parents forcing me to learn mridangam, I don't think I've ever been someone
What
who.
kind of instrument is this?
So it's like a 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏.
Okay.
You sit down and you play, right? And it's beautiful. It's supposedly, if I remember correct, it's Brahma's instrument. It's got a very resonating tone to it. Ironically, I hated that, and it's going to be something that's going to be a theme in my life. I hated it, and now when I play the cajon, which is a Latin instrument and a percussion instrument, I translate all of that mridangam style into creating my own style. So life has a very ironic and funny way of reminding you that what you hated once is something that was important for you in a way. So so that was my musical journey. I went to college. Parikrama found me. They were auditioning for a drummer. They had just formed about 6-8 months back, and the drummer then.
So they just happened to come to your college to
No, I actually joined. They actually took my audition. Because I'm a music quota admission. Kironimal, same college which had Amitabh Bachchan, Calendar, and a whole lot of people who have gone through that, has a very strong art curriculum, right? Their dramatic society called Players is really well known. Then they also had a music society called Musoc. It had a Western society, had an Indian society, and I got admission through the Musoc society. And as part of that, the Parikrama boys had taken my interview, my admission. And as part of the Musoc society, you're supposed to indulge in cultural, all the college festivals, you go and represent. That was the whole idea. But there was a vacant space that happened in Parikrama. 6 months, Mallu was a drummer, then had got admission at FMS for management, and then they're just 6-8 months old. It was
already all young boys.
Huh?
The band was of young boys only that night.
All first year, second year college. So I was just joining, they were all second year college.
Okay.
Right? So, and I auditioned, and for people who know music, Amit Kilam, who drums for Indian Ocean, and me, we were in the same class. We got together in the same quota at that point in time. And literally on the same day, and we used to be benchmate, whatever those 3 classes that I attended in the first year, we were benchmates. And I mythologize as that day, 2 drummers were hired in 2 different bands, and one was Kilam, who went to Indian Ocean, and I went to Parikrama. And it was a beautiful journey. I played with them from 1992. The band was formed mid-1991, so about 6 months later. So pretty much the founding group of musicians in the band. And I think I played with them till 2010 or 11. So about 18, 19, 20 years of my life was spent playing, performing, believing that we were rock stars, living that rock star life.
I know.
And I still look back at, we're still friends, and I look back at those times as very pivotal, very instrumental in shaping the kind of person I was, and all the other Dilips and versions that have come and gone.
So every experience teaches us, shapes us, and makes us who we are.
Absolutely. I think what you do with those experiences defines how you live life, I guess. But
And
that
what
Dilip then is not this Dilip. This Dilip now will not be the Dilip maybe 5 years or 5 days or 5 hours from now.
We're changing every day.
Of course.
What happened then? What happened post 18, 20 years of beautiful journey?
Unfortunately, during those years, if you were in a band, there very few people could make a living from a band. Even though we were the #1 rock act, we still had day jobs. And I used to work in, all of us worked, in multiple. But art has a way of pulling people in the creative space. So I was I was an editor. I used to make promos for a couple of television channels I worked for.
Okay.
I directed promos. I led creative teams. So all of that was going on. I got married, and then as any self-respecting band, you all fight amongst yourself because big egos and big aspirations and big desires. Art also, unfortunately, has a tendency to create hubris in people. They think they are bigger than the art itself, right? And you start believing that you're what you think. So we'd had all of that, and eventually I also was not doing justice to the band, to be very honestly. Because one of my biggest complains about myself is that I never gave my skill and my art a chance to flourish. I think that middle class upbringing, the desire to work and have a steady job, or not being comfortable with uncertainty,
Okay.
made me kind of choose corporate life over art, right?
So you don't give enough time to this.
I was not giving enough time. You cannot be polygamous when you're creating work that matters. At some point in time, you need to take a call. You need to choose.
Yeah.
It's not that what I chose, I regret, whatever, but that was the decision I took then. And I was like, if I'm not going to be doing justice to music, which is very true to me, then I don't deserve to mistreat her or ill-treat her in ways that she feels like second fiddle. So I still play music. Some of the most beautiful relationships that I've built, friends, family, peers, have come thanks to the music scene. At one point in time, one could walk into any pub in Delhi and be recognized. Now one has to stand in line and remind people, So if you go beyond those trappings,
Yeah.
I think I really, really, really am grateful, like, to the kind of people I've met. Sadly, I've lost a lot of people because of rock and roll excesses, right? And it's a timely reminder a lot of times to live the moment, carpe diem the hell out of it, experience moment to what it is. Don't attach too many things around it. Surround sound is great when you're listening to music. Surround sound is not something you need in life. Focus, percolate.
That's a good one,
Be happy with your the tribe that you have, right? So a lot of learnings. I mean, and we'll touch upon some of them as we navigate.
So when you were in a rock band, I think you were more aware of how you're looking, and
Yeah.
you want to look, especially in a rock band, you have to have a certain look.
I was the drummer. They stuck me right in the back for a reason, I think.
So how did the weight gain happen then?
So I was always, yeah. So, I mean, I was always slightly, I was never fat. And anyways, even if you're fat, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
what I'm trying to express myself is that the physicality, or if you're happy with whatever you have, that's great. And I was happy with it. This was who I was. My nickname in the music scene is Sandu. Comes from sand, comes from a
Okay.
bull.
Yeah,
Because
got
my
it.
mentality was one of a charging bull. I had this much patience, I had that much anger, and you didn't cross paths with me. If I didn't like you, I didn't like you. I was undiplomatic, straight talker, didn't give a shit about anybody, didn't care about things. And a lot of people say that's because you're an only child and you're so self-obsessed. And I don't think that's the case. But used to get into fights very, very quickly. Very hard opinionated in a lot of things, right? So,
We wouldn't come back to the thought of only child.
yeah. So I've always been going to the gym, but I'm a foodie, still am. I have a sweet tooth, and I used to drink alcohol like how alcohol at that point in time needed to be drunk, which is to kill the bottle and then find more, right? And because our so, and here is the irony of it. The band played every single show sober. So we've never drunk on stage, we've never drunk before stage, we've never done any stimulant on stage or before stage.
That's quite unheard of.
Never.
Okay.
And if you see some of our videos from that time, you would be hard pressed not to believe that these guys are high. We were never high, but we were that was our act and that was us, and we were really enjoying ourselves. But post the concert, would happen backstage, after party, whole night, rehearsal.
Let yourself
we
go.
would just let ourselves loose because that's
the culture.
That's what the culture is, and that's what felt right to do, right? And it adds up, and it starts to become a habit, and then it has to. So for some people, the definition of an alcoholic or someone who is alcoholic is सुबह उठ के दारू पीता है, right? I think we were not that. I've never done that, right? But we were using alcohol as a very functional, moral, and life support mechanism, right? I mean, otherwise in life, I'm quite boring. But if you would have seen me when I was drunk, I was the life of the party, right? And then it's spiral, and that's why a lot of people don't let go of things, because if you're the darling of the gathering and all your inhibitions are down, and whatever you say, you're just hitting it on the mark. I'll just get back to so Archana, what happens is that you're drinking, you're being cool, you're the life of the party, and then it kind of spirals to one or another, and you start doing that regularly. But I just want to impress that it looks like as if drinking was all that I was doing, but that's not the case, right? It was only happening mostly after gigs, after parties, hang, etc., etc. But over the years, I did realize that life seemed easy with a couple of drinks in. I was easier. I was an extremely shy school-going kid. I went to an all-boys school. I went to St. Columbus. I think the first girl I must have spoken to was in 12th. Before that, I just couldn't handle women in life.
I know, it was only boys' school.
Right, it's an only boys' school.
That is a common problem in, I think, Columbus.
So we realized, all of us, we were all awkward kids who had gone into music. And it's like music usually is the cooler cousin of the nerdy kids, right? You're still outcast. Nobody wants to. Nobody knows what you're doing.
In those days, that's how it was.
Nobody knows what you're doing. They think you're wasting time. Half the people think you're doing drugs anyways, which you're not, right? And so it started happening. I started putting on a little bit more weight, and I was always very conscious of the way I looked, but then I was also very cool about it. I was like, okay, this is what it is. I'm a big guy, so let's go about it. Let's live life. And then a lot of things happened, which we'll again circle back. But 2017, 24th September, I remember the date really clearly.
Really?
I was 102 or 103 kilos. This is after really spiraling out of control, because relationships had gone a little awry. Work wasn't that great. I had lost a couple of jobs. I was freelancing. That was not working. I was in a headspace that was very, very hedonistic. Very, very, let's just go the pedal to the, foot to the pedal. Don't care if the left is coming or right is coming. We'll see, whatever, right? So all of that. So one day I realized, on that day, and I'd just known about a friend of mine who had turned into a fitness instructor, and he was based out of Mumbai, and I'd heard someone say that he'd anyways dropped about 30-40 kilos, and he was looking cool, and he's now doing this as as a consultancy, and they knew someone who had dropped some weight, and he's no bullshit. He's like, either you do it or you don't do it. And I needed someone like that, right? I needed someone who didn't meander around being sensitive. Someone called me as what it is. And so I got in touch with him, and I still have that photograph because I had to take a photograph, side phone, and tell him, he wanted to see what I look like. And I sent it to him, and he said, doesn't look good, man. You're like, 2017 is 9 years back, 43 or whatever you are. And I had my daughter lives with her mother in Mumbai, and I just the conversation started taking like, if I'm going to be doing this, am I going to be around even?
To see
things without being a burden, and I don't care about anything else. I've since being a child, I've been telling myself one thing: don't care if you're rich, don't care if you're poor, just don't die stupid. That's the one thing you owe yourself. Don't die in a car accident, and I've had a couple of car accidents where I nearly died. Don't be in a situation where you have to be hospitalized and people have to suffer because of you. Don't die stupid. And I was looking at myself and saying, this is die stupid. Like, at some point in time, it is going to catch up.
It's not that easy to kind of realize that, is it?
Yeah. And it's tough. And then I got on that program with him. I dropped from 103 over a year. I dropped from 103 to actually 74 or 73, to the extent that people thought that you look ill, right? Because everything. And then suddenly Sandu had become famous in the scene for reaching parties with his own water bottle, because I didn't drink. Like, I quit.
Just quit completely.
For those 2, 3, 4 years, I drink, right? So, but those 3 years till COVID, and even through COVID, not a drop. And
how difficult was that?
It was So here is where the tipping point happens a lot of times. It's difficult, and then suddenly you reach a point where that difficulty becomes cool, right? And I channelize that cool. Here the conversation was, "ये आता है यार, ये पानी लेके आता है अपने साथ. तू बिल्कुल नहीं पिएगा, ऐसे नहीं पीऊंगा." And then I had fun. I would have a glass of water with ice, and I would tell people, "Vodka yaar," and I would keep drinking water. Right?
For the people who you don't want to tell them so.
And it was a transformation. Like, it was just incredible. And I started looking better from a very shallow physical aspect of it, right? Which is really, it's the bottom of hierarchies of people. If you're only doing it for I need to look good, then it's the wrong reason you're doing it, right? But what it did was it instilled some sort of a discipline. I got into exercise. I got into fitness, which is functional fitness. For me, I gave up on trying to do it for ego. So I don't go to the gym to lift weights now. I don't even go to the gym. I actually go to the park in front of my house, and I do my burpees, and I do my body weights, and I do my, I just want to be, I want to be fit. I don't want to be building muscles. I don't want to be doing any of that. If it happens, that's great. Right?
But this all doesn't happen just because of discipline. It also happens because of the willpower that you kind of have to develop to do all these things.
I quit. I used to be a 2-pack a day smoker in 2012. I quit cold turkey, right? So
that's not easy.
So the use case study for me is that it's possible. I'm trying to leave social media because I haven't. The last post I did on social media was in 2020, right? So really? I have not been on Instagram. Like, someone sends me, I see it on the web, right? But I don't log into Instagram. I have never logged into Facebook after that. The only 2 places that I go to is Twitter, and I will go to LinkedIn once in a while. And YouTube, of course, is because of work and all of that.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get rid of that habit too. So use case says that I can, if I quit alcohol, and I have never touched cigarettes after that.
Recently, I was in Ludhiana, just to add here, and a lot of people told me a lot of stories that, they've been, because of drugs and alcohol being so strong there, that young people have died, and because they've not been able to come out of it. You kind of change the whole narrative.
I mean, also because, we need to realize one thing. People who do drugs or narcotics, right? And I'll be upfront, I'm someone who's done the whole gamut of everything, which is, except the one that's really, the opioids is really, that's the one that's happening in Punjab.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm not going to lie to anybody by saying that, I have not done any of that. I've done everything, and I've for what it was worth, because of the willpower, but the ones who have lost the battle, have lost it because, of course, whatever, it's chemicals.
Yeah,
it's the chemicals in your head, and of course
they start controlling us.
But it's also the support that they should have had, they never had. Right? It's very easy to blame someone to fall off the wagon, but because I've seen in my very immediate circle, as I said, we've lost so many people, and also seen people who just didn't get the support from parents, from siblings, from friends. People can be mean. People are mean. People find great joy in putting people down, and some people just cannot get up once you repeatedly trip them, right? So while one end of the spectrum is really being soft, like maybe the European system or the American system, where maybe that's being a bit too lenient, where they actually give you needles to do it, because but then there's no incentive, in my limited understanding of socio-economic way. But the other end of the spectrum is countries like ours, which just doesn't have the empathy to even understand why things happen, for what reasons things happen. Do we need to understand and delve a little deeper, and I know for a fact, including with me, I don't think we have the emotional capacity as Indians.
Yeah, we don't have.
Because of the way our family systems are structured, because of the way society has done that. You were talking about
the support system. The support system, which normally we blame the individual of getting carried away with alcohol or drugs or whatever, and we forget about the support is he getting to come out of it or not.
A lot of people are. A lot of people are doing what they do for coping with life. Yes, there is a element of
fun and all
of
this
fun and ecstasy and
Yeah.
it does what it does, and
yeah.
but it's also coming from a space of them wanting to either forget something or move something or however, whatever. Maybe it's just that is your addictive personality. Sure. We all come with our own set of chemicals. I mean, I wasn't asked whether my DNA or chemical makeup. It's been handed down to me.
Of course.
And maybe
You're
there was
born with it.
Yeah, there was some strain of an addictive strain somewhere in my family that suddenly now comes in the gene pool. I don't know, but I think we can do with a little bit more pause. We can do with a little bit more understanding. We can do with a little bit more uh, uh, less accusation, more understanding. Everything doesn't need an answer, and I've learned this the hard way. I don't need to give a solution for everything. Maybe a lot of times people are just talking because they just want you to listen, right? And that's all it takes, right? So yeah.
After talking to so many people, I realize ये सबके साथ है, ये हर situation में what you're saying. This is like a common problem.
Yeah. Can I do Hindi also now and then, or
anyway?
Okay, cool.
जो भी आप बोलना चाहो.
Okay, cool. Okay. So I mean, life is hard anyways.
It is. Let's not complicate it more.
And I tell this to people: evolution is the meanest machine in the world. It does not care about you and me. It does not care about anything. If you see planet Earth, and this is my theory, if you ever see someone winning a Nobel Prize for this, you please let me know, because this is my theory, and you heard it in your podcast first.
Yeah.
My theory is very simple.
Yeah.
There is a big race going on this planet. Every species का एक ही वजूद है, more number. हमने ये race जीतना है. If that means I take resources away from you for my species, then that's the way it works. Species don't care, right? Yuval Harari talks about this in his book, where he says, "You think you cultivated wheat? No, wheat domesticated you to have, to be in larger numbers, right?
Yeah, that's a great outlook.
Right? So we don't pause, and I think one of the few things that I've learned in my life now is to be less judgmental. I used to be very judgmental, in the garb of not being judgmental. Very hypocritical, right?
No, that's how it starts. Okay, we're not trying to judge you, but that's what I feel. But then you're judging the other person.
Yeah. I think in all my honesty, I think I've been I've been a hypocrite across the board whenever it has suited me, right? And it's taken a lot of just self being a little, asking me those tough questions, saying that, listen, who are you? Like you were like this. Remember that situation where you were being a gossipy little, person, or that when you were pretending to be the shoulder to cry on, when you actually were really enjoying the fact that this person wasn't, and all. I mean, I have definitely been there. And now for me, the fact that I know that I'm not perfect, never been perfect, never will be perfect, right? The fact that it's like wabi-sabi, right? In Japanese, broken pieces just put together, and that's beautiful. I think I'm a living wabi-sabi, and I'm very happy with it. This piece of china is broken, right? And this is what you get. This crockery will always be in the front living room ka क्या कहते हैं cabinet, but वो टूटा पड़ा रहा है.
This is one joined together with gold.
Yeah, the one joined together with gold or whatever it takes, right? But I am wabi-sabi. I'm very happy.
Yeah.
I'm broken. I'm whatever little, and there are pieces.
Honest, all of us have to go through this grind.
Of course,
we're not born with wisdom. I think we learn it on the way.
Yeah. तो उस wisdom में थोड़ा weight भी lose हो गया, थोड़ा fitness भी आ गया, थोड़ी relationships भी अच्छी बन गई, दोस्त और गहरे हो गए, थोड़ी यहाँ पोएट्री पढ़ ली, वहाँ पे थोड़ी फिलोसफी पढ़ लिया, तो कुछ ये कर लिया, कुछ वो कर लिया, met new people, met great people, old people have become stronger, that this tribe has become smaller, that village now only has people that I want to have in my village. I'm part of some very close people, and the people that I really admire, I'm part of their village. This square now has people who look after each other, right? I have 5, 6 friends that I know since I was 4 years old, right? And the way that I term those guys is that those are the 4 or 5 people, if I'm going before them, will be the one who will be taking me to the pyre, right? So I'm saying that if that is the kind of friendships I've already made, everything else is fine. Yeah. It's great. There's always space, but no problem. Yeah, I think no problem. Good for you. let's move on is something that I want to just print on a t-shirt and wear it now, because I was not like this. Earlier on, it was, what the hell? How dare you?
Yeah.
And I will not let you move on. Right? I will fixate on this. I will put all my energy in being toxic about it, and I'll mess my head about it. I will pace up and down about it. I will, in my imaginary world, in my head, I am fighting these battles. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm doing this, and blah 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 blah. Was the kind of person I was till very recently. And it's taken slowly, life has chipped away, made me realize that it's nobody else's fault, it's you. Fix it. Stop being, I've been someone who's played victimhood like wow, like मेरे को Oscar मिल सकता है इसके लिए, you know, that while I'm strong and everything, but it was always this, or it was always that, or it was this because of this, it was because of that. I left the band because of those guys, and I think I did a life audit at some point in time, and I said, the only thing common is you. You must be the problem, bro. Like, you seem to be, इस वाले पंगे में भी तू है, उस वाले पंगे में भी तू है, उस वाले स्यापे में भी तू है, इस वाले पंगे में भी तू है, यहाँ पर भी जो लड़ाई में तू है, हर जगह तू ही है. Then how come the other 100 people are to be blamed? Maybe it's you.
Yeah, you have to correct yourself.
So you fix this and everything else will be fixed. Are things fixed? I don't know. But I do feel a light-heartedness. I do feel a lightness of being. I do feel not as bogged down by life's vagaries. I think I've given the tools to accept that people are like this, you are like that. If you can meet in a way that makes sense, बहुत बढ़िया है. नहीं कर सकते हैं तो it's पहले था कि वो आपकी गलती थी, अब है कि वो नहीं हुआ यार, ठीक है. Does it work all the time? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I think we're not becoming saints. We're just realizing how to kind of.
I don't want to be one.
Yeah.
I'll be very honest. I love life a lot. I love all the vices that it comes with a lot.
Yeah.
But I think the one that I don't want to be is a bitter human being. और मैं बहुत bitter था, और मैंने बहुत लोगों को bitter बनाया हुआ है.
आप इतनी सच्चाई से सब कुछ कैसे बोल रहे हैं? How are you being so truthful about
because,
things?
I mean,
like really amazing.
that's the only way, I think, because मैं झूठ बोल के भी, it's not that I can tell a lie and then I can worm myself and create an empire of wealth and whatever.
Like
ये तो है ही, life
ही
है.
Sharing what you've been through and admitting that you were like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You mentioned about being a single child and that also creating a problem for you. How was that kind of?
No, so single child.
I've heard it a lot of times that single child.
Single child
they have issues, kind of.
You have issues because in this universe where you are the most important thing, or you're not, right? You have folks who are either whatever. It doesn't give. It doesn't. The problem with being a single child is that you don't have a co-person to bounce ideas off while you're growing up. Unfortunately, parents से आप बात कर नहीं सकते हो उस level तक, और आप you don't have a sibling
to discuss things
to
out,
bounce things off to say. So उस पेपर में जो पहले जो हल्की लाइन थी, वो लाइन बनती रहती है, गढ़ती रहती है, गाढ़ा होता रहता है. It takes a lot of things in life for you to rub it off, right? And even then you can't rub it off completely because it's the lead has entrenched itself into the paper so deeply that it's now getting smudged, which means that all of that is now hitting other things in your life, right? So being an only child, I was never pampered because, my parents, and now in hindsight, great parents, then hated, like any child goes, right?
Happens, yeah.
My dad,
you always feel they're wrong.
My dad was a bodybuilder, right? He still is. He's 83, 84 and goes to the gym.
Oh, wonderful. God bless him.
He came in to Delhi from his village, Nagapattinam, when he was about 19 or 20. He came here for, he got a job with Pan Am at that point in time, or 20. Then he was bodybuilding with the Air Force guys, and very hard man. Life did not treat him well because of various that happened. Turned slightly bitter because of really life was unfair. But fought, soldiered on, and came out on the other side as with his dignity intact, right? Which all, when I'm growing up, felt like he shortchanged my happiness, right? And why were we so rich and now we are so poor? Why is our could I point at something and get it? Now I can't even point at things. So that bitterness, again, being an only child, starts to inculcate a sense of entitlement, which either you're getting or not getting. And then your parents, unfortunately, now you realize, being one, how they go out of their way to compensate for whatever in their head they feel they're guilty about. So that works sometimes, that doesn't work sometimes. Sometimes it turns
they're
as a
also
spark.
learning. They're also reacting.
So they're also learning, and then you see your friends, and I'm 52. I was born in 74. That time, average family size was 3 बच्चे होते थे, right? And मैं यहाँ पे अकेला था, and I would visit people's homes, and there were siblings here and siblings there, and then I would resent, and then what happened, and like every child, I think every single child goes through that. I was convinced I was adopted. I was 100% convinced I was adopted, and some of my mean kids also said, "Tu adopted you."
Adopted.
Yeah. Maybe your parents couldn't have you, couldn't have you, तेरे को वहीं से उठा के ले आए. So for the longest time, I grew up thinking I was adopted, because ऐसे हो ही नहीं सकता जब पूरी दुनिया का नंबर 3-4 है, तो मैं क्यों, right? But I think they were way ahead of their peers at that point in time. I have an only child now, right? I don't know whether it's good or bad. It is what it is. Maybe that's what works for you. Great, but it builds resentment, and life is strange. I did not come from an unhappy family at all. But in my head, I think evolution. I think it's in evolution that your progeny, when it's growing up, any animal, it needs to create strife with its parents, because only then will you leave, right? And that's evolution way of throwing you into propagating that species. अगर घर ही पे बैठे हो तो तुम कैसे propagate करोगे यार? जाओ यहाँ से खुंदक में जाओ, be something. That's in my head. I think some evolutionary.
No, it's fitting the dots very well. You're right.
Some evolutionary process where you feel a need to hate your parents, and then
That
at some
stage
point in
comes
time
with
you feel the
everybody,
need
I
to love
think
them back, right? So I think all of us go through this.
But
So
not
only
everybody
child
admits
was-
it. Let me add it here. Not everybody admits it. I'm really glad you are.
So only child was tough, because I don't think I had the social skill set. I always yearned for an elder sister, right? I didn't have one. Because I could see how, kids with their elder sisters were like, my God, there was a second mother for them, right?
I know.
In a way. But I think it kind of built a very complicated internal mechanism that was part self-centered, part trying to free itself from that life, part wanting things that one didn't have, part saying that this was better than that. It was very, this arcade in the head was, different games were being played at different times and whatever. But I definitely feel some bit of me just being self-centered definitely does rise, and it's got nothing to do with your parents giving you and pampering you. It's just you decide that you are very important, and then everybody should dance to your tune. And at some point they do, because they are friends and family. But at some point in time, life happens, and then people don't care, right? So only child. I don't know, other only children, only childs agree with that or not, but yeah.
You feel.
Listen, I mean, have siblings. Have
I know.
siblings.
I know, that's important. Actually, it is very, very healthy.
Yeah.
So
Have more kids if you want to have.
Okay, so in this, all the process that you were going through, we also spoke about your daughter. How is your relationship with her now versus what it was then at that
My
point of
relationship
time?
with Kamya has always been special. Like any dad-daughter relationship is special. How she views my relationship with her is something that people need to ask her.
Okay,
right?
of
Because,
course, yeah.
I wouldn't assume anything, because life has been led. And so, as I told you, she lives with her mother in Bombay, and I do whatever best I can. Is it the best? I'm sure it's not, right? It can always be better and should be better. But as a young 19-year-old that she is now, and she's a guitar player, and
Oh, she's also into music.
Yeah, and her mother is an NID graduate and textile designer, and she has that
Wow.
incredible creative.
She's got great combination of genes in her.
Lovely genes of of creative thinking, of creative inquiry.
Oh yeah.
Fortunately, she doesn't have she has not taken intelligence from me, but from her mother, so she is intelligent, does extremely well, right, on her own might, and I think she's a kid with a well-balanced outlook to life. We share incredible moments whenever we do meet. She's like a friend, but someone told me your kid can never be your friend, shouldn't be your friend, right? You will always be her parent, and then that's the kind of conversations we have with her. And I've always told her that while you can be whatever you want to be, you have zero setting expectations. You want to do this, you want to do this. The generation also has a lot of conversations going on fluidity and sexual orientation. We have always told her, like, it's not for us to, your friends or this thing. It is that's your life.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do. But don't expect that I will not have an opinion. You're my child. I will definitely have an opinion. I will express that opinion. I will not force that opinion unless there's something that's a life and death, which I will also force that. But to expect that your parents will always be on your side of the decision is incorrect. Will not going to happen, and you need to deal with that. You might do something which I might feel disappointed in, because that's my worldview. Because I had that aspirations for you. As your father, I have every right to have that aspiration. But I will never have the right to force you to do something that you don't want to do. But I will express that to you, right? You can debate back with me, you can disagree. And I think the great thing that we've taught her is the power to disagree, right? Have a conversation, hit us with your logic. So my advice to Kamya has been that, beta, like, form your own opinion, take your own decisions, but don't be in such in a space where you feel that the world owes you anything. World will have its opinion.
Always.
Deal with it.
Yeah.
Hold your ground where it needs to hold. Be relaxed and be elastic where you need to be. Take in other people's input if it matters. Don't take other people's input if it is futile. But don't be rigid in thinking that, why will my parents should agree. I said, no, we're not going to agree with everything. Of course we're not going to agree. Right? But that's great. At least we leave.
Both you and your wife kind of managed to have this balance in co-parenting.
You said my wife, ex-wife.
I said something wrong. Okay. Okay. How have you and Ruchi, have been able to maintain this balance of co-parenting?
I say this to whoever asked this question, saying that it's only possible because of Ruchi. It's only possible because of giving me the opportunity and the space. And I'm very clear in the words that I'm using, because the other alternative was also very, very clear, not giving, right? And a lot of relationships do devolve into that kind of space, right?
Yeah.
So I think doing whatever we need to do to ensure Kamya's life is at least as enriched as it can possibly be, right? I think it's a great starting point for any co-parenting project, right? And then play it by ear. I have no rules. I don't know of any rules. I don't know what works. I don't know what doesn't work. But I know that without the runway of just wanting to be dignified and respectful for each other, without that runway, nothing is going to be possible. Right? So I'm in Gurgaon, they're in Mumbai. Yes, it's taken also a lot of effort on my part to ensure that the regularity of making that effort has also been is an effort that I don't think by doing I have proved anything great. It was the least common atom that was required, right? But everything else is built.
Sometimes the past reh ke cheezein nahi ho pati, so that's okay. Even the distance, you just have to maintain a balance wherever you are.
So it's been an interesting ride. It's been a great ride. I think I'm very, very grateful. Absolutely. It also comes from not taking anything for granted, honestly. आज हुआ है तो कल नहीं कि अगली बारी या कल भी होगा ऐसे ही, right?
किसी
You
को
know, you
नहीं
have to
पता
keep
है.
on at it and honestly, you know, there is no I don't know what the word is. There is no chal kapat. There is no, oh, if I do this then something else, and I'm saying for all involved, right? It's a very genuine desire to now mitigate the drama and do whatever we can for Kamya.
I would like to get you back to what you told me when we were discussing it in that cafe the other day. You said you're a short-term pessimist but a long-term optimist.
Yeah.
That was something great.
I think the line I read somewhere was, and I don't know whether it's the Hyman-Minsky theory or what's that theory. I don't know. I forget. But you can only thrive you can only be optimistic and thrive in the long term if you're able to survive being pessimist in the short term, right? And what my take in this that, and where that theory leads to is that, you know, in life the people who are the most happiest are the realist. The ones who have lost connected and they're super positive and always this thing are the ones who unfortunately life can't be dealt. And this comes from Vietnam, where when John McCain, who was their general who was caught by the Viet Congs, shared this story where he said that the ones who were the most optimists, they're going to come in and free us now. By this Christmas, they're going to come. And then that Christmas went. And they're going to come in January, I heard somewhere, and then that went. It slowly defeated them and they gave up hope. As opposed to him, who said they will come. Right? But I don't know when they will come. And for them to come and take me, I need to survive this torture, this confinement, this, and this, and this. Those people had given up on realities, you know, and they were fixated on some ideal outcome. And a lot of time, life, relationships, be it marriage, be it relationships, be it work, it happens that, right? You are fixated on an ideal outcome, but you have not taken care of what you need to do to reach that ideal outcome, right? You think giving my girlfriend or boyfriend or husband or इस साल एनिवर्सरी में गिफ्ट दे दिया तो काम हो गया ना? नहीं हुआ ना? आप you have to keep at it. You know, so
it's a work in progress.
It's always is a work in progress. So, but if it's a work in progress, you are aware of the short-term pessimism, how things can go wrong, because that helps you to keep course correcting, and every little degree of change compounds, right? It's the power of compounding, right? That every little thing that you do compounds eventually. And that's and you were asking about my fitness mantra a while back, and that is my fitness mantra: compounding, frictionless compounding. I do exercise that I can do over here. I just need 6 feet of space. I don't go to a gym, so there is no question of me missing that gym. I don't go to a gym, therefore there is no scope for me saying, I was very busy at work, आज तो मैं gym जा ही नहीं पाऊंगा, मैं जाता ही नहीं gym. तो अब बताइए क्या करोगे? I go to the park, or I can exercise free body in my room or in my balcony or at whatever time. So when I'm traveling on work, people are saying, यार मैं gym तो है but मेरे को जाने का मन नहीं कर रहा. I'm saying मैं कमरे में कर लूँगा यार, कोई problem नहीं है. So my fitness mantra is very simple: do what you want to do. Choose something that is frictionless. In life, I want to remove friction. Anything that comes in the way, if I can remove it, I remove it. For me, to take a decision to go to a gym, then decision to go to a good gym. So लोग कहते हैं ना आपके कॉलोनी वाली जिम या अपनी बिल्डिंग वाली जिम तो बकवास है. तो go to a gym which is outside, which means I need to get into a car. First of all, I need to wake up and make a decision to go to a gym. Then I need to wear the right clothes because I'm going to an external gym. Then I have to sit in a car. Then I have to navigate that car all the way to the gym with people and traffic and life in the middle. There are so many drop-off points available already for me to not go to the gym. I get up, I wear my आजियो से खरीदता हूँ मैं अपने परफॉर्मैक्स करके एक ब्रांड है, सबसे सस्ता ब्रांड है. अंडर आर्मर नहीं है, नाइकी नहीं है, रिबॉक नहीं है, कूल नहीं है, कुछ नहीं है. उसका काम है ड्राई फिट, और वो ड्राई फिट करता है, और वो 400 रुपये की मिलती है मेरे को, ठीक है। मैं वो पहनता हूँ, मैं अपने सामने वाले पार्क में जाता हूँ और मैं वहाँ पे अपने एक्सरसाइज करता हूँ, आधा घंटा करता हूँ। मुझे मिस्टर वर्ल्ड नहीं बनना है, मुझे कुछ नहीं करना, मेरे को आज सिर्फ थोड़ा मूवमेंट करना है, दैट इज माई मूव अ लिटिल, because the other option is not moving.
Yeah.
I want to move a little. I moved. I did it. I ticked in my calendar. I've done what I did. I got into a state of of calorie deficit of some sort. I burned some calories. I feel good. Listen, no. Oh, I have to now drive back from the gym. मैं जब जिम गया हूँ तो अब 2 घंटे तो करने पड़ेगा ना, क्योंकि 40,000, 50,000, 60,000 रुपए दे रहा हूँ, मेंबरशिप भी ली हुई है, आई हैव टू डू जस्टिस टू दैट मेंबरशिप। तो अब मैं मतलब आई एम नन ऑफ दैट। मंत्रा इज वेरी सिंपल, प्लीज आप घर पे कर लो यार, द स्क्वाट। सब माय फ्रेंड डज दिस, माय फ्रेंड डजंट इवन गो टू द जिम, एवरी टाइम वो एक चौखट पार करता है वो 10 पुशअप्स करता है। So he's going from the bedroom to the living room, he's crossed that door, he does 10 push-ups. तो कह रहा है ऐसे कर करके दिन के 200-300 मेरे पुशअप हो जाते हैं यार घर पे, ही वर्क्स फ्रॉम होम। तो मैं लू से बाहर आता हूँ तो मैं पुशअप कर लेता हूँ। मैं सोने जा रहा हूँ, आई क्रॉस टू अनदर रूम, आई पुट 10 पुशअप्स। मैं सुबह उठ के आया हूँ 10। मैं कह रहा हूँ सुबह से रात तक वो बस 10 पावर ऑफ कंपाउंडिंग इज ब्यूटीफुल। What you try, so I'm saying find a way, do it.
More about movement,
but be active, but that is that's your baseline.
Yeah.
If your activity is you need to run a marathon, please go and do it. My baseline is not running a marathon. मुझे नहीं भागना है। क्या मैं भागना चाहता हूँ? I would love to, but I'm not training for one. I don't want to feel inadequate because I can't. I love doing this. So the only fitness workout is what you can do repeatedly and what you like doing.
Yeah.
So
to each their own. Absolutely.
So if you can go to this Fitness First or some Anytime Fitness or whatever, one of those chains, and that motivates you, full party, man. Just please go and do it, right? But don't look at the other person who's not going to do it and just say ये तो fit नहीं है, भाई वो भी fit है, वो कर रहा है।
अब परिक्रमा तो बहुत साल पहले खत्म हो गया, but what's your still love for music? What do you do for music?
So I have a drum kit at home.
Okay.
I have something called the cajon, which is an interesting story. Cajon, when the slaves were being taken on the ship to America.
Okay.
And the ship used to be loaded with crates of products. These slaves would sit and they would sing songs of yearning or freedom or whatever. So, वो crates में उठ के ऐसे बजाते होते थे. That turned into an instrument called the cajon. It's a little drum kit. It's a little drum box.
Okay.
Which looks like a speaker. Like इतना बड़ा cabinet होता है.
Okay.
और wood का बना होता है. एक face plate होता है. And it has a resonant to it so that it sounds musical. And so I love the cajon, and I play the cajon by using the principles of mridangam on it. So it's got my little own style of happening. वो भी मेरे एक्सरसाइज मंत्र की तरह कहीं पर भी उठा के ले जाओ। लोग तो मजाक उड़ाते हैं कि जब मैं cajon लेके आता हूँ कहते दिलीप तो अपना सीटिंग अरेंजमेंट भी अपने साथ ही लेके आता है because you have to sit on it and play.
Oh, okay.
Right. So literally it's a speaker.
I wish you got it on today also.
Huh?
I wish you'd carried on today.
Next time maybe we'll do. Yeah.
Done.
So I have 2 of them lying in the house, in one room here and one room there. जब भी मौका मिलता है, I finished a client meeting, I'm frustrated, I'll sit on it and I'll play something, get my frustration out. I jam a lot with my friends.
You still do?
I do, yeah. We have a couple of music projects on and off with friends, which is passion projects. So music is very, very important for me. And until one point in life, I used to hate that music and I used to only like this music. I was a card-carrying member of the heavy metal club, and heavy metal is about music that needs to be obnoxiously loud and very, very gritty, as opposed to I used to hate people who used to listen to pop and hip hop and soft sunte ho. Now I reached a stage where I like all kind of music. If that music speaks to me, I listen to it. If it doesn't speak to me, I don't think it's bad music. It's my problem. It doesn't speak to me. Right? In that story. So music plays a very, very important role in my life. I can't see without music. I can't live. From morning onwards, my phone is playing something or the other on Spotify. I brush with music on. I take a shower with music on.
So on that note, which is your favorite song? Why didn't you sing a few lines of any favorite song?
There's a reason why I was a drummer and the reason why they stuck me in the back. But I have nothing intellectual to say, but I was with my niece and we were listening, and they were listening to Gully Boy.
Yeah.
And this line really, "Tu nanga hi to aaye, tu kya ghanta leke jayega." And I think that is life.
That is true.
That's life. You know, and it took someone from a slum to pen those lines down, which is life, right? So for me, music does that. Music, and I'm an extremely how do I put it? I don't listen to music, I feel it. So when we are going on the hills or I'm driving and I'm listening, I'm crying because the music just holds me like that, right? So I'm a very, very so music does. So I don't listen to music. It percolates into me. It seeps into me. It triggers that emotion. It triggers that memory. It puts you onto this thing. It connects something else. So when I'm listening to music, the lyrics are going on, the musical cadence is going on, but also this track of life is going on. So it's like, and my friends say that, but is music mein hai kya jo tere ko? Why is your eyes so watery? What's so? So I said, no, it triggers something here. It does something that to me. The chords. See, music has notes. Notes are emotions. So you play those same 12 notes in some way. It elicits some sort of this thing. So for me, I'm a very visceral human being, right? So for me, music. So therefore, so when someone to कौन सा music, मैं तो music सुनता ही नहीं. मैं म्यूजिक में बैठा होता हूँ. For me, I am in the music. I am floating on it. It's taken me by my hand and it's taken me here somewhere. It's opened that door, it's come back and it's shut that door, it's done this, it's done that. So for me, music is a very then I'm thinking about, oh my God, जिसने ये music लिखा है, वो क्या state में होगा? My God, how do you write these lines?
मैंने काफी बारी वंडर करा. Just reminded me that I used to wonder कि जो singers or musicians, they sometimes play very happy songs, sometimes sad songs, some emotional songs, some songs for probably your country or for your loved ones or whatever could be the theme of the song. But उस moment में maybe they've had an argument with their loved one just outside the door, and when they walk into the room, how are they able to bring that right emotion for that song is something I've kind of intrigued many a time. कभी याद आया that I used to think कि कैसे, because when we also are not in a good space and when we go to office, we said, "Abhi baat mat karo," the mood is off, we'll talk about it later.
It brings you into a state of flow. I remember when I used to drum and I'm playing a 2-hour concert, there are moments of that concert I don't remember. But I've played the songs, obviously. I have interacted, I've performed, I have done all that, but it's taken you somewhere, right? And that's what, this guy called 𝗏𝗏 talks about flow. Flow is when पता ही नहीं था कहाँ थे तुम, like you have to come back. Oh my God, what did you just say? That's what music does to me. It takes me on its own little journey. So one of the interesting things that I've been doing since I was 4 years old is people call me, I'm a hoarder of things. I keep things which I find valuable, have a story behind it, or something that's has meaning, right? So from my first note that I scribbled to my mom saying I'm leaving home when I was 4 years old, to every single report card, to all the elements of various relationships, to bills that I have paid for that occasion, who I traveled with, what I did,
cards that you received,
everything is there. My school leaving shirt that everybody scribbles on, to lanyards from the concerts that I've played, tickets, stubs, everything. So when I'm 70 and I'm retired and I'm sitting in my villa, मेरे पास बहुत content है, बहुत material मेरे पास to sift through everything and then just relive my life from the age when I was 4. And sometimes once in a while, even now, I'll take out one item and just relive that, right? And I think that's beautiful. I think for me it's beautiful, because it just keeps me aware of all the things that have happened, how those things have connected to me now, and how it will take me to the future. Talking of relationships, I'm with an incredibly nice human being, just takes a lot to infuse people with love and happiness and joy, and so I think I'm very blessed that way, right? To just I've I've loved people, I've loved people, I've hated people, I'll hate people, and I think my emotions are I've always been very deeply etched. So I've never been on the periphery of emotions. If it's it's been there or it's been there, and I think I'm quite happy. Even now when I'm a little ambivalent, I'm fully ambivalent. Like it's not like So I think I take positions in life on people. I like to imagine that I'm your best friend and your worst enemy. Like I'm your best friend, and someone very long time back, told me that Dilip, you know, don't don't wonder why they were gossiping or bitching about you. Ask yourself, why were they okay doing that to that person? Okay with that person? Why were they comfortable with that person? That they could bitch about you to that person?
Yeah.
That is the question you need to ask. Right? Why was it okay for that friend who you think is very close to have been someone that they could unload and bitch about you, right? So never be that person. Never be that person. State that, cut that base very clearly. Set that expectation very clearly, saying that. So now a lot of times I say, boss, अगर मैं उसके बारे में मुझसे मत बात कर, because I will have to take a position and I don't want to spoil this evening right now. So you hate him, that's fine. That you do. I want to tell you, I really love him, right? He's my very close friend. He's my best friend. And कोई फायदा नहीं है, कोई point नहीं है. तो लोग कहते हैं तू बड़ा बेवकूफ है, गॉसिप तो सुन, तू बोल सकता है उसको ऐसे. मुझे सुनना ही नहीं है, मैं इंटरेस्टेड नहीं हूँ. मैं क्यों, मेरे को इफेक्ट नहीं. अगर इफ इट इज अफेक्टिंग मी, यू प्लीज टेल मी, देन आई वांट टू कन्फ्रंट दैट गाय और गर्ल or whoever that person. Otherwise, keep it to yourself, man. Why are you telling me? Tell that person, no?
You kind of learned life fundas very well. When can we say like that?
Now, the trick is to implement all of this.
Yes.
सेल्फ हेल्प बुक तो मैंने अपनी बहुत जिंदगी में निचोड़ के लाइफ से और किताबों से अपने अंदर ठूस लिया है. कितना that is applicable and I'm applying.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm applying 100% of it. But
nobody can. Situations are also changing, na?
Yeah.
It's not the same situation where you kind of learn that rule. Wonderful. Okay, now just make it a little lighter. We'll play a rapid fire round.
Okay, sure, yeah.
Okay. One thing that you'll tell your younger self.
Forgive yourself. Always. Yeah, forgive yourself.
And move on.
I don't think I've never forgiven myself on a lot of things. I grew up just putting myself as the root cause, or just being very heavy on me.
Yeah.
Forgive yourself. It's okay. It's okay to mess up.
A book that has impacted you recently? Because I believe you read a lot of books.
I read a lot of books. I'm reading The Beginning of Infinity right now. It's by David Deutsch, and it's about life and science, and so it's an interesting book. But what I really have enjoyed reading are two books, and I read them. One is Ryan Holiday's Stoic, on Stoicism. My WhatsApp is 𝗵𝗺𝗞𝗃, which is I'm a lover of fate. I accept fate. I love fate. Come hit me with whatever you can, because it is what it is, right? I think I want to be a Stoic. I want to imbibe that Stoicism. So I love reading that. But one book that really I read and really broke me was When Breath Becomes Air. It was Kalanidhi, I forget his first name. A doctor in the US, cancer surgeon, dying, right? And he writes about and he dies. By the end of the book, he dies. And I think the last part of the book he didn't complete. He died of cancer. But in that life, and that's what the title is, When Breath Becomes Just Air. And it's no longer God. I think that was a book which was very, it leads you to believe that, moment can be extended, but also when it's gone, man. It's okay. It's right. Another book that really powerful for me was Viktor Frankl's What We Are Searching, or What We Search. Right? It's a beautiful book. I just finished the Bhagavad Gita.
Did you?
Yeah.
This is very difficult for people to understand.
Yeah, and a lot of it I don't agree at all. I don't agree on this very male-centric, macho, unnecessary. But I need to know It's because it's my book. It's that's
course,
what my
of
ancestors
course.
have read,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and then therefore I read for that reason. Yeah, books. I'm interested in books. I use a system called, and it's something that I learned and I love it. It's called 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏. 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏 is, I have a little box. I have cue cards.
Okay.
And 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏 is, you read something, you like something, you file it away under a heading, and you put one. You just put lover. This. That's how I remember being a pessimist in the long run and all.
Yeah.
I read it. I put it in this thing. I tag it to one of the tabs that it's either life or creativity or leadership or blah or blue, and then you suddenly start building a body of information, and then of course it has the book and the page number to
Yeah.
it. So if I ever need to give a presentation or I need to create a script for a podcast, I want to talk about life, I have like 50 cards already with books and references to it.
That's
So it's my indexing. It's a system of indexing, 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏𝗏. So I don't know why I'm doing it, but I just love doing it. So every Sunday, I have my phone which has all those scribbles. Then I will put it index, and I'll put it, under the various headings. Calms me, and I like it. It feels as if I'm reading with purpose now. I used to first read to finish the book and add it to my list of have done it. But now I read slow. I used to read first just to read, and I don't remember anything of those books. It was a competition on how many books did I read this year.
I know that's.
Yeah. Now I read less number of books, but
you read them slowly and imbibe them.
I'm just on it.
Yeah.
I read one word at a time, and I try to understand. So, yeah.
Okay. Since you were a drummer, so what is the biggest misconception about a drummer that you'll probably like to?
That we are Neanderthals. That drummers are just drummers are musicians who failed the exam of musicality, and therefore they went to percussions.
Okay.
There are drummer jokes, right? Because for a reason. I think the biggest misconception that people have is that drums are there just to make you move, right? Drums are there because it holds the song together.
I know.
Right?
Now I know.
Without
yes.
that,
yeah.
You can have an incredible band, have a lousy drummer, you're finished. Have a lousy band, have an incredible drummer, it's a different ballgame. So drummers are like wicket keepers, and I was a wicket keeper also in life, and I was a goalkeeper in life. I think it tells me about me, something about me, that maybe I never wanted to be on the forefront ever. I'm someone who prefers to loiter in the background. Are like wicket keepers, they do the hard work. If you see a wicket keeper, har ball pe uthta, har ball pe bat, he has to still squat, he still has to get up, he still has to move, right? I think drummers are doing that job. However it is, if it's a tiny hit or a loud booming rhythm section, drummers are they're the glue of the band. They're the glue of any music.
Yeah, they are. That's so wonderful. One song that has probably stayed with you.
Oh my God, there are a lot of songs that have stayed with me. As I said, I'm terrible with lyrics. There's a song called "Always with You, Always with Me" by Joe Satriani. It's an instrumental song, right? मैं आपको 500 रुपए की शर्त लगाता हूँ, मैं आप वो सुनो और आपने रोना नहीं शुरू किया तो मुझे बता देना, या आपने अपने every emotional ride that you have happened in your life, if you do not start to float on that music, it's a guitar that's talking, it's three people who are playing that music, then there isn't. And Joe Satriani only plays instrumental music, but his songs are poetry, epics, books, truth, everything rolled in musical form. For me, that is actually the power of music, because lyrics to आपको shape करता है.
Yeah.
Lyrics are very important, right? But if a music, आप opera जब सुनते हो, when you listen to opera, there are no music to it, but it moves you, right? So that's what Joe Satriani does to me. It moves me. Yeah. So my first girlfriend, I played that song, some other song of his, something when I with some other person, there was another piece of his song. So it's like there has always been, like in any relationship, it's as if Joe Satriani was sitting next to me playing his guitar and saying that, this is for this emotion, this is for that emotion. Yeah, very powerful. I said, please listen to him. You may or may not like it, that's a different story.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's powerful.
And thank you so much. It was, I think, very nice having this conversation today. So many.
Sorry for not giving rapid answers to the rapid questions.
It's okay. It's okay. I was loving them.
Right.
And I just hope Parikrama, as I say, the band was, you were part of that band, but I hope your Parikrama around music continues forever.
No, absolutely. Well said. Yeah, I know. And I think that is the point. It just reminded me of another saying that I heard. The whole point of traveling is to come back to where you started, but as a different human being. That's life. You travel and then eventually you come back home.
Yeah.
The same home that you chose to leave or break down or whatever, but आप आते वहीं पे हो, whatever that home is for you. Right? So Parikrama exactly is that. It's I think and I joke with people कि I will never be unemployed. नौकरी मिले ना मिले, मैं ड्रम किट उठा के कहीं होटल में बजा लूंगा या किसी पार्टी में बजा लूंगा, मुंडन में भी बजा लूंगा, ठीक है? मेरे को I don't think I'll ever be unemployed because I have the crutch of music with me, and music for me, therefore, from a musician's perspective, plays multiple roles. It plays the role of advisor, it plays the role of parents, it plays the role of wife, it plays the role of the miffed girlfriend, it plays the role of your child. There's multiple roles music plays in your life, right? And all of those roles, the music in my life has always played, a great accompaniment, which is why write a new song every time is the mantra that when we were talking about. That's how we started the whole. Yeah. So we did the mantra Parikrama, and we come back to the title of this episode also, and thank you for having me. I think it's fantastic. I think more than you listening, I think I was listening to myself, and
it happens.
A lot of things that I'm also said, which I'm like, oh wow, okay. Like, is that how it?
That's how it was. Yeah. That's how it is now.
Thank you for having me over.
Yeah. I would just like to share that, since you're talking music, my brother and his family is deeply into music. His wife sings very well. His daughter now has a beautiful voice, and his son is now producing music. So he's written a song, he's produced a song. So I can't sing, but I just wanted to add that song to this episode today. I'm going to say, Manas, please, I'm sorry if I'm not able to sing it well today, but this is called ''𝗨𝗏 𝘓𝑛𝑡𝑒𝑟. That's the name of the song. And it goes like, ठहरा हुआ समा है, कब से तू बैठा बेकरार, मेरी ही कमी है, करे तू बस मेरा इंतजार. ठहरा हुआ समा है, कब से मैं बैठा बेकरार, तेरी ही कमी है, करूँ बस तेरा इंतजार. 𝗨𝗏 𝘓𝑛𝑡𝑒𝑟. That's how the song goes. I'm not able to sing it, but I think everybody please go out and listen to that song. How
old is Manas if he's writing these lyrics?
He is 24.
Wow, lovely.
25,
lovely.
I think 25.
Lovely. Yeah. To be so young and then also kind of get the gravitas of emotion and life. Lovely.
He's a very good drummer.
Yeah.
I think you would probably give him a lot of advice when he comes here.
Lovely. Yeah. Always eager to meet new drummers.
I know.
Young drummers. Because I have forgotten what a young drummer feels like, because so many years back, right? Incredible in this day and age of produced music, in this day and age of music out of a box, knowing that people are still choosing instruments and wanting to master them, gives hope.
Yeah, it gives hope. It definitely does. Music is never going to die anyways. Yeah. It's always going to be there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Really lovely.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
So looking forward to you enjoying this episode as much as we enjoyed having this conversation today, and see you soon with a new episode. Lots of love and take care.